The air thickens with untold stories, ancient whispers carried on desert winds that have witnessed millennia. Imagine standing on the precipice of time, the vastness of existence stretching before you, not as a mere backdrop, but as a living, breathing entity. This is where our journey begins, not with answers, but with profound questions that have echoed through the ages. From the earliest civilizations, thinkers and mystics have sought to understand the unseen forces that shape our reality. Their observations were not just philosophical musings. They were maps of a deeper truth, encoded in symbols and passed down through generations. These weren't just tales, they were profound insights into the very fabric of what we perceive as real. The Kybalion, a slim volume that holds immense power, speaks of a secret doctrine, a lineage of wisdom that transcends simple living. It hints at principles that, once understood, can fundamentally alter your perception of the world and your place within it. But to grasp these principles, we must first shed the assumptions we've carried, the comfortable illusions that shield us from a more profound, exhilarating truth. These ancient texts are not merely historical artifacts, they are invitations. Invitations to peer behind the curtain of everyday life, to see the currents of influence that are constantly at play. They promise a liberation, a way to move from being a passive observer to an active co-creator of your experience. But to unlock this power, you must first acknowledge the whispers from the sands of time. These whispers hold the keys to understanding the first, most fundamental principle of the universe. And real quick, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos just like this. Now let's keep going. The universe, at its core, is not a collection of inert matter bouncing around. It is alive, pulsating with thought, a boundless consciousness of which we are all a part. This is the colossal, mind-bending idea at the heart of the first Hermetic principle. The all is mind. The universe is mental. It's a concept that can feel alien at first. A radical departure from our everyday understanding of a physical, solid world. Think about it. If everything is mind, then what we perceive as matter, energy, even ourselves, are simply manifestations, thoughts given form within this infinite consciousness. This isn't just a metaphor. It means that the very structure of reality, from the smallest atom to the grandest galaxy, is fundamentally mental. This intelligence is not personal or human-like, but an all-encompassing awareness. This principle challenges our deeply ingrained belief in a separate, objective reality that exists independently of any observer. It suggests that our perceptions, our experiences, are not just reflections of an external world, but are active participants in its creation. The thoughts of the all are the causes, and the universe we experience is the effect made visible. Understanding this opens up a universe of possibilities, but it also carries a profound responsibility. If all is mind, then our own thoughts and beliefs become incredibly potent. They aren't just internal chatter, they are the very tools with which we co-create our reality. But how does this infinitely vast mental universe interact with our seemingly limited individual minds? That's where we'll delve into the illusions we've built around ourselves. Our daily lives are built upon a foundation of perceived solidity. We touch, we see, we feel, and we assume this tangible reality is the ultimate truth. Yet the first Hermetic principle, the all is mind, shatters this illusion, revealing a universe that is fluid, dynamic, and far more malleable than we typically imagine. The solidity we experience is, in essence, a consensus of thought. Consider the chair you're sitting on. To your senses, it's firm, unyielding. But at a subatomic level, it's mostly empty space, with particles whizzing about at incredible speeds. What gives it its perceived solidity is the collective belief the shared mental agreement that it is solid. This agreement is a powerful manifestation within the greater mind. This principle implies that the laws of physics, as we understand them, are simply consistent thought patterns within the universal mind. They are not immutable decrees, but ongoing expressions of consciousness. When we believe in these laws so rigidly, we reinforce their manifestation, often without realizing how much we can influence them through our own mental states. The implication here is staggering. If the world is a mental construct, then our own mental states are the architects of our individual realities within this larger construct. We are not trapped by rigid circumstances. We are participants in a constantly unfolding mental tapestry. But if reality is so fluid, so mental, what is the underlying energy that allows for this constant creation and change? The universe is not static. It is in perpetual motion, a constant hum of unseen energy. This is the essence of the second Hermetic principle, vibration. Everything from the densest object to the most ethereal thought is in a state of vibration. Nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. This principle is the fundamental engine of creation and change in the universe. Imagine a plucked guitar string. It vibrates, producing a specific note. Now imagine every atom, every particle, even every thought, behaving like that string, each vibrating at its own unique frequency. This creates a symphony of energy that makes up everything we perceive. Your body, the air you breathe, the emotions you feel, all are distinct vibrational patterns. This concept explains why two people can experience the same event, but perceive it entirely differently. Their internal vibrational states are unique, filtering the external experience through their own resonant frequency. It's like tuning a radio. You can only pick up the stations broadcasting on your specific frequency. Understanding vibration is not just an abstract scientific concept. It's a key to unlocking your ability to influence your reality. If everything is vibration, then by altering your own vibration, you can, in turn, alter your experience of the world. But how do you consciously change your inner frequency when so many external factors seem to dictate it? We are not merely passive recipients of vibrational energy. We are active participants, capable of consciously tuning our inner frequency. This is the crucial next step in understanding the principle of vibration. Our thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and physical state all contribute to our unique vibrational signature. Essentially, we are conductors of our own energetic orchestra. When we cultivate positive thoughts, feelings of gratitude and love, we raise our vibration. This aligns us with more harmonious, desirable experiences. Conversely, when we dwell on fear, anger, or doubt, we lower our vibration, attracting experiences that resonate with those negative frequencies. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy, dictated by the energy we emit. This process of tuning isn't about forcing yourself to feel something you don't. It's about gentle, consistent redirection. It's about becoming aware of the frequencies you are broadcasting and making conscious choices to shift towards higher, more expansive ones. This might involve practicing mindfulness, engaging in activities that bring you joy, or reframing your perspectives on challenging situations. The power lies in recognizing that you have the inherent ability to adjust your inner dial. It's a continuous practice, not a one-time fix. But the more you consciously practice tuning your vibration, the more you will begin to notice shifts in your external world, attracting circumstances that match your elevated frequency. Yet the universe is not just a spectrum of vibrations. It is also a dynamic interplay of opposing forces that govern our experience. Beneath the surface of universal vibrations lies a fundamental principle of duality, of opposing forces in constant interplay. This is the third Hermetic principle, polarity. It states that everything has an opposite, and these opposites are essentially two extremes of the same thing. There is no true good or bad in isolation, only points on a continuous spectrum. Think of hot and cold. They are opposites, yet they are both variations of temperature. Measure them, and you'll find they exist on the same scale, just at different points. The same applies to light and dark, love and hate, life and death. These aren't separate entities, but two sides of the same coin, existing within the grand spectrum of a single phenomenon. This principle helps us to understand the nature of conflict and duality in our lives and in the world. It reveals that what we perceive as absolute opposites are merely degrees of intensity of the same underlying energy. This can be incredibly liberating, as it suggests that we are not inherently defined by one extreme or the other. By understanding polarity, we gain the ability to transmute one pole into another. We can shift our perspective from negativity to positivity, from fear to courage, simply by shifting our position on that spectrum. But navigating this spectrum can feel like being caught between forces. How do you consciously move through these opposing energies without being overwhelmed? Navigating the spectrum of experience is not about eliminating one pole entirely, but about understanding and consciously engaging with both. The principle of polarity teaches us that these opposites are not in war, but in dynamic balance, and our perception plays a crucial role in how we experience them. It's about embracing the entire spectrum of reality. When we feel anger, it's not about suddenly becoming someone who never feels anger. It's about recognizing anger as a vibration on the polarity spectrum and understanding that its opposite is calm or peace. By consciously choosing to breathe, to reframe, to shift our focus, we can move ourselves along that spectrum. This is the art of inner alchemy. This ability to choose our position on the spectrum is where our personal power truly lies. We can observe fear, acknowledge it, and then consciously choose to focus on courage. We can acknowledge sadness and then deliberately seek out moments of joy. This isn't repression, it's conscious direction of our mental and emotional states. Embracing polarity means accepting the full range of human experience. It means understanding that light cannot exist without darkness, and joy gains its meaning through the prior experience of sorrow. But this constant back and forth, this ebb and flow of experience, is governed by a deeper, more pervasive rhythm. Life is not a series of static moments, but a continuous flow, an undulating rhythm that shapes our existence. This is the fourth Hermetic principle, rhythm. Everything flows into and out of everything else. There is a time for everything, a tide in the affairs of men. This principle governs the cycles of change, from the grandest cosmic movements to the most intimate personal experiences. Think of the seasons changing, the tides rising and falling, the beating of your own heart. These are all manifestations of rhythm. The universe breathes, expanding and contracting, waxing and waning. Our lives are no different. They have their periods of expansion and contraction, of activity and rest, of success and apparent failure. Understanding rhythm is crucial because it teaches us patience and resilience. When we are in a period of downturn, the principle of rhythm assures us that a period of upturn will eventually follow, and vice versa. Fighting against these natural cycles often leads to frustration and wasted energy. Instead, we can learn to work with them. This principle also applies to our mental and emotional states. We experience cycles of enthusiasm and doubt, growth and plateau. Recognizing these natural rhythms can help us avoid despair during difficult phases and appreciate the momentum during favorable ones. But how do we actively participate in these cycles rather than simply being swept along by them? Riding the waves of change means learning to flow with the natural rhythms of the universe rather than resisting them. The principle of rhythm suggests that these cycles are predictable and constant, offering us an opportunity to anticipate and adapt. It's about understanding the ebb and flow not as random occurrences, but as predictable patterns. When you're building momentum, the principle of rhythm encourages you to seize the opportunity and push forward. When you sense a slowdown, it advises you to rest, recharge, and prepare for the next surge. It's like a surfer paddling to catch the perfect wave. They don't fight the ocean, they understand its movements and use them to their advantage. This principle also highlights the importance of observing patterns in your own life. Are there recurring themes or cycles in your relationships, your career, or your personal growth? Recognizing these patterns allows you to consciously influence them, perhaps by pacing yourself differently or by seeking out opportunities that align with the current phase of the cycle. By embracing rhythm, we learn to surrender to the natural unfolding of events, knowing that each phase has its purpose and its eventual transformation. But this constant movement and change, this ebb and flow, is all driven by a deeper law of action and reaction, a principle that dictates the very consequences of our every move. Every action, no matter how small, sets in motion a chain of events that will eventually return to its source. This is the fifth Hermetic principle, cause and effect. In a universe governed by immutable laws, nothing happens by chance. Every effect has its cause, and every cause has its effect. This principle is the bedrock of karma and consequence. Think of dropping a pebble into a still pond. The ripples spread outwards, each one a direct result of the initial disturbance. Our thoughts, words, and deeds are like those pebbles. They create ripples in the fabric of reality, and these ripples will inevitably return to us in the form of corresponding effects. This isn't punishment, it's cosmic accounting. This principle is often misunderstood as a form of fatalism, but the Hermetic understanding is far more empowering. It implies that while past causes have led to our present effects, our current causes are actively shaping our future. We are not victims of fate, but architects of our own destiny through our choices and intentions. The universe operates with perfect precision. There is no favoritism, no arbitrary judgment. The law of cause and effect is impartial, ensuring that what you sow, you shall also reap. This understanding calls for a profound sense of responsibility and mindfulness in every aspect of our lives. But if we are the architects, what does it truly mean to architect our own consequences? The architect of your own consequences is not a passive observer, but an active creator, consciously choosing the causes that will shape your future effects. The law of cause and effect is not a distant, impersonal force. It is intricately woven into your being. Your every thought, your every intention, is a seed planted in the fertile ground of reality. This means that if you desire a particular outcome, you must first ensure that the causes you are setting in motion are aligned with that outcome. If you seek happiness, you must cultivate thoughts and actions that generate joy and well-being. If you desire success, you must embrace the discipline, effort, and perseverance that lead to achievement. It's a direct correlation. The challenge lies in recognizing the subtle causes we often overlook. A fleeting negative thought, an unexamined belief, or a careless word can all set in motion unintended consequences. True mastery of this principle involves developing a heightened awareness of your internal landscape and the energy you are broadcasting, ensuring it aligns with the effects you wish to manifest. Understanding this law transforms challenges into opportunities. Instead of lamenting negative circumstances, you can analyze the causes and resolve to create new, more positive ones. It's a continuous cycle of sowing and reaping, where you have the power to consciously influence the harvest. But beyond the mechanics of action and reaction, there is a complementary principle that governs the very nature of creation. Creation, in its purest form, is an interplay of masculine and feminine energies, a dance of complementary forces. This is the sixth Hermetic principle, gender. It explains that everything in the universe has its masculine and feminine principles. And these principles are inherent in all things and all persons. This is not about biological sex, but about fundamental creative energies. The masculine principle is often associated with action, direction, and the logical mind. It's the force that initiates, that cuts through ambiguity, that brings ideas into manifestation. The feminine principle, on the other hand, is about receptivity, intuition, nurturing, and the embrace of mystery. It's the fertile ground that receives the seed and allows it to grow. This duality exists within all of us and within all of creation. The universe itself embodies this balance. The sun, often seen as masculine, provides the energy and light, while the earth, often seen as feminine, receives it, nurtures life, and brings forth growth. Without both, creation would be incomplete. Recognizing and integrating these principles allows for a more holistic approach to life and creation. It means understanding that true power comes not from suppressing one aspect in favor of another, but from harmonizing them. It's about finding the balance between doing and being, between logic and intuition. Yet it is the synthesis of these energies that ultimately leads to the creation of everything we perceive. The synthesis of creation is where the masculine and feminine principles meet, not as opposing forces, but as complementary halves of a unified whole. It's in this sacred union that all manifests, all is born. The Hermetic principle of gender isn't about hierarchy, but about the dynamic interplay that brings forth all existence, from the smallest idea to the grandest universe. Imagine a sculptor. The masculine principle is the vision, the decisive chisel strokes that shape the raw material. The feminine principle is the receptive clay, the willingness to be molded, the intuitive understanding of form that allows the vision to take root and flourish. Both are essential for the statue to emerge perfect and complete. In our own lives, this synthesis means embracing both our assertive, goal-oriented nature, masculine, and our receptive, intuitive capabilities, feminine. When we are out of balance, we might be overly aggressive and stifle growth, or overly passive and fail to manifest our potential. True creation, true progress, comes from integrating both. This principle also sheds light on the creation of new life, both literally and metaphorically. The union of these two fundamental energies is the generative force behind all that comes into being. But how do we consciously harness this creative synthesis within ourselves to shape not just external realities, but our very inner world? The ultimate power lies not just in understanding the principles, but in consciously applying them to transform our own minds. This is the seventh and most powerful Hermetic principle, mental transmutation. It is the art and science of changing the mental vibrations of oneself and others, bridging the gap between thought and manifestation. If the all is mind, and our minds are microcosms of that all, then our minds hold immense creative power. Mental transmutation is the key to unlocking this power, allowing us to consciously shift our dominant thought patterns, beliefs, and emotional states. It's the process of deliberately changing the vibrations within your own consciousness. This isn't about mere positive thinking, it's about a deep internal shift. It involves understanding how to consciously control your thoughts, redirect your focus, and cultivate specific mental states that align with the reality you wish to experience. It's the application of all the previous principles: vibration, polarity, rhythm, cause and effect, and gender to your own mental landscape. By mastering mental transmutation, you gain the ability to influence your own mind and, by extension, your external circumstances. You become the conscious architect of your inner world, which then inevitably mirrors itself outward. But this mastery is deeply personal, requiring an intimate understanding of the most powerful mirror you possess. The mirror of your own mind is the most profound tool for understanding and enacting mental transmutation. It reflects back to you all that you hold within, all the beliefs, fears, and desires that shape your reality. To change your external world, you must first learn to consciously influence this internal mirror. When you consistently cultivate thoughts of abundance, you are actively transmuting your mental state towards a vibration of plenty. When you choose to see challenges as opportunities for growth, you are reshaping the mirror to reflect a more empowering perspective. It's a continuous practice of self-observation and intentional redirection. This principle also implies that the difficulties we face are not external punishments, but reflections of our own internal states. By understanding this, we shift from feeling like victims to becoming empowered creators. We can look at any situation and ask, what within my own mind is contributing to this experience? The power of mental transmutation is in its direct application to your consciousness. It's the final step, where you become the alchemist of your own being, able to convert lower vibrations into higher ones, and in doing so, transform your entire experience. This leads us to the ultimate realization, the homecoming of the soul. We stand now at the threshold, having journeyed through the fundamental laws of the universe. The culmination of this exploration leads to a profound awakening, the realization of your own divine blueprint. You are not merely a product of these laws, but an intrinsic part of the all, a co-creator endowed with the very essence of divinity. The principles you've learned are not external rules to be obeyed, but internal truths that describe your own nature. You are a thinking, vibrating, polaric, rhythmic, causal, generative, and transmuting being, a reflection of the infinite mind. This understanding is not an intellectual exercise. It is an embodied truth that can reshape your entire existence. Recognizing your divine blueprint means embracing your inherent power and responsibility. It means stepping fully into your role as a conscious creator, understanding that your thoughts, intentions, and actions are divine currents shaping reality. The universe is not separate from you. You are an indivisible part of its magnificent unfolding. The journey has been one of uncovering what was always within. The Hermetic Principles are not hidden secrets to be discovered, but inherent aspects of your being to be remembered and lived. Your true nature is one of infinite potential, boundless creativity, and divine connection. Make sure to subscribe for more videos just like this, and hit that notification bell so you never miss the next teaching. See you in the next one.